This is my secret formula for running a martial arts school that generates 7 figures a year without me. Hey everybody, my name is Jennifer Waters and I am the sales and systems sensei. Glad to have you here. We're diving into how to get a 7-figure dojo running without you. Now, I own this school with my family, but in the day-to-day operations, I'm what you would consider the CEO. So I'm the person who's strategizing, getting the grand vision in place, and then coordinating that with my chief of operations so that she can then take that vision and put it into functional steps that the whole entire team can follow. So I'm gonna go ahead and walk you through what the stages were leading up to this, and what do I do today to actually make the school run where I literally don't have to come in unless I want to come in, and most of the time that's the case. I like being here, I like teaching, I love the people and the team that I have, so a lot of times you'll find me here, but I don't necessarily have to be here. And I know that for a lot of people, that's the goal that they really would like to get to, is to the place where they don't have to be at the dojo. So let's dig in. All right, so first of all, when I first got started with this strategy, I didn't just go, well, you know what, everybody else, you go teach, you go do sales, and we'll just figure it out. That was not the go-to, and I would not recommend that for anyone, actually. The very first thing that you have to understand is that you are gonna be teaching the classes, the bulk of your martial arts classes, you are gonna be doing sales, and you are going to be planning. You're going to be doing all these things. Whether or not you're good at each step or not, that's going to be the first thing. Unless you have a lot of money that you can then invest into people. And most of the time, that's not the case for most of the martial arts school owners and the clients that I have inside the 7-figure dojo. So it's not like they can invest tons and tons of money, hundreds of thousands of dollars on salaries and on staff. So if that's the case, expect that you're going to be, like I said, running the classes, cleaning up the martial arts school, answering questions, and doing sales. And in one of my other videos, we've talked about the order that you should be hiring and staffing and how to hire and staff the best people. So I'll have my editor link that up for you in the description, and you can definitely take a look at that video. But let's talk about right now, what are some things that you need to put in place? The first thing that I think that you need to put in place is you have to have class plans. So if you want somebody to replace you on the floor, the very first thing that you have to do is you have to actually be in a situation where they can read instructions on how to cook the same type of cake that you're cooking out on your martial arts floor. They can't guess at it, because if you were trying to leverage time, right? Okay, what could I do that would generate the business more money? Well, it's probably going to be teaching classes. And if that's the case, what else can I do? Moving from teaching classes to sales is an appropriate thought process, and it is something that you should really look at. Because if you can get the same energy on the floor, if you can get the same repetition on the floor that you would have, then I say go for it. As long as you have somebody there who can do it exactly like you do, well, maybe up to 80% of the way like you do. Then move into sales. And here's the problem where a lot of people get stuck. They go, well, I'm going to replace somebody. I'm going to replace myself out on the mat, and I'm just going to go to the golf course, or I'm just going to go on vacation, or I'm just going to just sit back and chill. That's not the stage of business that you're in when you start replacing yourself on the mat. The next stage that you should be moving into is doing more on the sales side, doing more on the marketing side, so that you can continuously generate more leads, more students, more enrollments, impact more lives. If you're trying to move too fast into that, you're going to make a grave mistake. Your product, which is your martial arts classes, exchange those out, your product is actually going to go down in value. So you've got to create systems so which the value stays pretty much the same whether you're on the floor or you're off the floor. Now, that takes some doing, and that takes some growth on the side of hiring instructors, and we have a couple of videos on that, so we'll make sure that we link that up in the description as well. Now, the second thing that you got to do is you got to make sure that your communication is on point. Okay, so now that I have systems in place where people are teaching martial arts classes, the day-to-day operations are running, sales is running, marketing is running, I have to make sure as the CEO that I'm communicating with all of those departments so that they are enacting the vision that I've created. So communication is head over heels, something that you have to master. You need to be able to master your own leadership skills as a leader. This is one of the things inside of the 7-Figure Dojo program that we actually take to a completely different level. and develop out the future CEOs so that they know exactly what they should be doing to communicate to their team and to do it in such a way that inspires people, not pounds them into the ground and says you have to do this or you're losing your job. No, inspires them to take on a certain level of ownership themselves so that they're doing it the same way that the owner/CEO would do it. One of the great things that I definitely recommend is that you have a daily huddle. You can watch one of our videos where we talk about and actually show you behind the scenes of what the daily huddle is like, but I would highly recommend that. Make sure that you're present or that you can zoom in for those daily huddles. Now, once you have this communication going on, the next thing is you must have somebody who is in operations, making sure that the things that you said needed to happen actually occur. This would be the follow through, the follow up. So if you're that one man or one woman dojo owner right now and you have a couple of people that you're trying to slowly bring in, maybe teaching on the mat, maybe doing some things behind the front desk, it doesn't mean that you go completely hands off. You are the operator. You're doing this day to day. You will not stop being an operator until you have someone that is the operator for you. Every time you add on another staff member, it's just like adding on another arm to what you can do, right? So in the beginning, you only have two hands, right? What you can do with these two hands is what you can do. But as time goes on, you're gonna have many hands that will be able to implement the strategies that you put out there. So I want you to think, once you have somebody who's in operations, they're making sure that the day-to-day gets done. And that's really what operations is all about. Contributing to ideas that you might have, taking those ideas that you do have and implementing them or bringing them up to the next level. So you got to get somebody in operations. And then finally, just remember that your job inspecting what you expect continues forever until you hire somebody else to take on that role. And then you only are a business owner that is not a CEO. At this stage of the game, I'll just say, I don't want to be that. I love the day-to-day too much, and I like being in the mix. It's not something where I'm just want to be an owner and not have anything to do with teaching martial arts or have anything to do with the structure of what's going on. When you graduate to that level of just being an owner, it comes down to looking at data and looking at whether or not things are making sense on the bottom line. And you've got to be that, which I am with my father, with my family, but you've also got to have somebody who is still casting vision. There's a verse in the Bible that says that without vision, the people perish. So someone has to be driving the vision of what's next in the company. And honestly, if this is what you want to do and you want to get to this level, it's going to take time. It's going to take you being an amazing leader, you being an awesome martial artist. It's going to take all of those things. But above all else, it's going to take a no-quit attitude. An attitude of no matter how hard this gets, I'm just not going to give up. I'm not going to quit. I'm going to figure out a way to do that. And that, my friends, is how you can rise up through the ranks. You can have a school that literally runs without you. If you don't want it to depend solely on you, you can, and you can build it. This is what we did from the ground up, something that you can do too. Hey, listen, if you're getting a ton of value out of this, make sure you smash that subscribe button. And if you have any questions, drop it in the comments. I read these all the time, so I would love to get your feedback on this. Until next time, guys, be awesome.